What's up, YouTube family? What's happening? What's happening? Y'all know who it is. It's Be Real. I'm back. But I got me a visitor. Yes, sir. Let me turn that music down. By the way, I do not own the rights to any of this music you may hear in the background. But who I got right now is a young man. This young man has done a little bit of every sport, I would say, just about. I ain't gonna say every sport, but he's well-rounded, and he settled in on a sport that was right down my lane. Okay, and he is now, building his own gym. I think he's gonna do it at his home, but he definitely stays in shape for the most part. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and introduce him. Who we have here? This is the name that we used to call him around the gym. We used to call him Big Bad Brad. Hey, in this corner, we got Big Bad Brad. All right, so Brad, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. Can't complain. How about you, Coach?
Hey, man. I'm always up to doing something, man. I ain't gonna just lay down too long, right? So.
Not at all.
All right. So, yeah, man. It's really nice having you here, man, and I appreciate the support. And I know you're a man of few words, so I better phrase. I better phrase my daggone questions just right, because Brad gets straight to the point. And he ain't trying to drag nothing out. But he more about business, action. You know what I'm saying? I might as well call him Action Brad. But Action Brad, you heard. All right, so anyway, right now, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's start with what school did you attend when, like, high school? Let's start at the high school level. All right?
I attended Thomasville Senior High School in the great city of Thomasville, North Carolina.
Yay! All right, for Thomasville High. Them the Bulldogs, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, buddy. So when you started to play, you played what sports did you play for Thomasville High, or Thomasville period, junior high or high school?
Football, basketball, baseball, and wrestling.
Wow, that's deep. A lot of people only play about 2 sports, man. You got about 4 of them, don't you?
That was my way to stay active and to stay out the house.
Yeah, and stay out of trouble, right?
Right. Growing up, I was pretty much on a tight leash. Family, they weren't really for us being out in the street, so
I don't blame them, bro.
My way to be able to hang out and things like that was to just stay active in extracurricular activities, and so I was drawn to sports. And my family, we're pretty athletic, so I've always been around sports, grew up around it. Everybody played something.
Yeah.
So just being in that type of atmosphere, you can't help but get drawn to it. So
yeah, no doubt, man. And I know your family as well, and you're right, man. You have a very athletic family, and I was really surprised, man, as I met them one by one, how what each one of them had that stood out, and
right.
And you were pretty much well-rounded though. But now, when you finally got into football, how did you feel about that sport?
Oh, I loved it. Just growing up around Thomasville, like, football is like end all be all,
right.
End all be all kind of in a way.
Right.
Everybody play it. Everybody support it for the most part.
Yeah.
and that was and just being around it, that was just something that in my head I always loved it. So
Hmm.
and growing up, watching like the high school teams and stuff coming up, like
Right.
I would always say, man, I can't wait till I'm able to be up here playing.
That's right.
Uh, just growing up, just trying to accomplish that goal.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. I think you did very well, man, because you got nothing but trophies all over your house.
Yeah. Mostly, it is football trophies, but most of my trophies came from baseball.
Aha.
I probably would have to say, just simply from like all the accolades and things that I received
Right.
from baseball, may be my best sport.
Hmm. You know what, man? I saw you in two major sports. I saw you first in football, right? Because we was at the church and we did a little scrimmage with another group of guys, and that's when I realized how much speed you really had. Because from where I was standing, and I had to be like the referee, the line ref or whatever, and
Right.
from what I could see, that they should have been grabbed you, but at the last second, you made them miss. And I'm saying to myself, wow, and then you change directions really fast. So I'm saying to myself, what if he can take that type of movement in the ring, right? But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So my next question would have been that when you played baseball, did you have the same feeling for baseball as you had for football?
No. I enjoy baseball, but I football was my first love. It
Right.
still is. But I think it was kind of baseball was just like kind of natural, I guess.
Okay.
Well, football was as well, but I don't know. Like I literally didn't have to practice, and
Wow.
I was just I pitched mostly. Um,
So it was just natural, huh?
my grandfather he played minor league ball for a little while.
Oh wow.
Uh,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I attribute it to him.
Okay. Well, that's good, man. Everybody kind of, I guess maybe, it runs in our genes, man. When there's an athletic, person in the family somewhere down in our archives, we pick up that ability as well. So, and you basically was gifted with the ability to adapt to any sport, just about any sport. You know,
I, I would like to think so.
has there been any sport that you felt like that you just could not do?
Um, Not really. And
Right.
even if there's like, and even if like the sport was brought to me today,
Hmm.
I feel like if given a decent amount of time to learn it and
Right.
everything, I feel I would be able to,
Right.
I feel I would be able to do it and perform pretty well. And
Okay. All right. So the next question would be: I know that you also wrestle.
yes, sir.
So how did you do on the wrestling mat?
I I wrestled mainly in middle school.
Right.
I wrestled a little bit in high school, but not really.
Okay.
But I did well. I did well in wrestling. Now looking back on it, I wish I would have stuck with it a little bit more.
Mm.
Uh,
Okay.
because I I did well, but I feel like I could have done a lot better if I
Right.
would have put more effort into it.
Hmm. Okay. That's a rough sport, man. Wrestling is actually an all-round physical rough sport. You know?
Yeah, but those for me, those the type of those the type of sports that really let you know about yourself. Like you really have to dig and pull within from sports like that because it's you, it's all you. You can't blame nobody.
That's right.
The outcomes there.
That's right.
Depending upon how well you prepare, and it shows up. If you prepare well, then you should perform well. But if there's things you try to shortcut or don't prepare as much, they show up.
And on top of that is that you can be prepared well for a game or a match, but if you don't eat right, now we learned that. We learned that the hard way. No, I know. Yeah, you laughing because I know. And look, if we don't, if it makes a difference, and we never thought that the right type of food at the right time. It's really the right time to eat it because that's that moment when you eat a particular type of food, it'll give you that extra boost that you need to go into your competition, and it's legal.
Right.
There's nothing illegal about it. It's all natural. Well, So now the final question as far as sports, I was just trying to come around to the one I like the most, and that is, and also boxing. You were introduced to boxing some years ago.
Right.
So how did you when it was first brought to you, what did you think about boxing? Just hearing about it.
I honestly, growing up, I was seeing on TV and stuff, and I was interested in it growing up. It just wasn't as accessible as the other sports around here.
That's right.
It was. I admired it from afar until I was actually able to start training and things of that nature. I didn't know. I didn't know how much I would like it. I didn't know how far I would want to get into it.
Right.
But I was pleasantly surprised. And now I love it. It's probably taken over as being it's up there between being my favorite sport now.
Yeah, and I it's funny how when me as a coach that I see certain things, I see the development in people who are interested in the boxing business, and of course I always get them at the fresh stage, and then I try to get them into a little competition. Just mainly train them and keep them in good condition. Right. And when you guys are ready, I see the confidence growing in you. But the only thing now, I have to match that confidence with another guy's confidence that we don't know. And that will either tell the story if we continue or if we have to step back, or if somebody just never comes back to the gym. It makes a big difference because everybody gets that hype. They know that they've gotten better. They know that they're trained. And for you pretty much had got you picked up an awful lot. You wasn't a tall guy. So how tall are you right now? I mean, how tall have you been when you got into boxing?
You know how the height goes. It's a guesstimate. Anywhere between 5'7" to 5'9". I say.
I would pick the higher. I would pick the higher 5'10" or 5'11", so maybe 5'10" and a half somewhere. That's my estimate of your height.
I'll take it, but I think that might be pushing it a little bit.
Hey, that's all good. But one thing we did do, man, we taught you how to box short. You understand? Because that's your area. That's where you at. And short people have to be able to move. And they got to be quick on their feet. And they got to bring some power. Right? So these are the things that me as a coach noticed in you and all the other guys that we had coming through there? And we can almost tell after a certain length of time if they're gonna stay hanging with it or not. You know what I'm saying? We all kind of knew that. And
Right.
and the people that you seen come through, you knew them, some of them from the streets. You knew what they had, their abilities were out there in the streets or on the football field or whatever. But to see them come in the boxing gym, how did you view that? And what did you think that? Did you think that they would do as well as you did when they came to the gym?
I honestly, just anybody knew that I seen coming in, I gave them a clean slate
Right.
because, I won't ever forget when we first started, up, when we was doing, just regular conditioning classes out at the church.
Mm-hmm.
That very first conditioning class, I remember I didn't make it through the class. I was dead tired. I even went to the back away from everybody and laid down. And I remember it like it was yesterday. And after the workout, I told myself, I was like, man, I will never be put in this position again. And that honestly, I was a little embarrassed because you think, and it made me realize as well, all training ain't the same training.
No, you're right.
You can train or be well in one area, and then just a different set of exercises, just work different muscles and just cause for different things altogether. So I figured I would do pretty good, but seeing like actually where I was at, I was embarrassed personally. So
well, that's only because
just extra motivation for me that I needed, I think.
Yeah, you know, you're not a guy who takes a sport lightly. You know, that's really what it is with you. You know, when you get involved with a sport, it seems like you give it your all. You give it a lot of attention, and if you really like it and you're really trying to be on the top on the top tier, that you put a lot of hard work in on it. You know, and that's all that it struck me as on your first workout, because I knew about I knew about the other sports that you have been involved in, and most of those sports had a lot to do with the bigger muscle groups. And then when we had to concentrate on the smaller muscle groups, your punch muscles and your reaction time, and having to stop and go all the time, and you know, all that jumping around. Your calf muscles had to kind of get there because you had to be able to move lateral, front, in and out real quickly, you know, and the running. So the running never went away. It was something that we always kind of had to do. So I just chalked it up as, you know, this is just the beginning. I wasn't even looking at the first class. That didn't mean nothing. But it was all the classes afterwards that made a difference. And when I saw you coming back, I'm like, okay, he's interested. Okay, now the pain that I put you through, you went home, you recovered, and you came back. You see what I'm saying? So coming back tells the story about where a person really is. It don't matter how good they are at the time. Once they hang in there, they get better and better and better. So that's exactly what you did. And what did you think about, because you met Jordan, you actually kind of watched Jordan grow up. That's Jordan, my son. So how did you feel when you and Jordan had to do the training? You know, he was younger than you and everything else. But how did you feel training with somebody like Jordan, who had just a little jump start in this boxing thing?
I really didn't think too much into it.
Right.
I knew he had, he just had been around it, more experience, and it really just pushed me to, develop as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
with us being there pretty much all the time,
Yeah.
and us working with each other all the time.
Yeah. Always in the gym.
You really can only get as good or develop as much as the people you're around. So
That's true.
him being there helped me, I think, just accelerate my learning curve faster.
Yeah.
Cause um,
Yeah.
it's just I just try to pick up little things from everybody that I'm around. And,
Yeah.
just him being there, honestly, having somebody there with you, that goes a long way too.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there were moments it was just you and him in the gym.
Oh yeah, a lot of times.
Yeah. It was just and it was those moments when I had to be on the road. You guys had to hold it down, open and close that joint. You know.
Right.
And that in itself, and you know, we had a couple of visitors from another gym come through, you know, periodically and all. We probably went out and visited a couple of gyms as well. But you know, as far as like where you are today, and you needed to, let's say, if you just feel like, yeah, man, I want to get in shape. What route would you actually take to get in shape? Would you go out on a football field, on a baseball diamond, on a wrestling match, or in a boxing ring?
Hands down, I'd go in the boxing ring.
Right.
I wouldn't even think. To me, it ain't no debate.
Yeah, yeah, and that's that bug we get. You know, that's that buzz, and it's a part of you. And not just that. How do you feel about the respect that comes with it?
Oh man, it is. I think boxing like that. It kind of like any combat sport. You kind of have to separate that from any other sport. I think.
Yeah.
Because just stepping in whatever the octagon, the ring, just stepping in there, it takes a certain level of courage.
Yeah.
Because everybody can't do it. And then if you get to where you competing, doing that, stepping in front of a crowd, having to manage your emotions, and all that, it's different.
Yeah.
You can in other sports, you can lean on other people.
Right.
The beginning, say you come out shaky in the beginning of a team sport, your teammates can help pick you up until you get your feet under you.
Right.
In a combat sport, you come out shaky, it may be the end of the night right then and there. So
yeah, and no matter what the corner is trying to hype you, the corner is trying to build you up and tell you what you need to do and tell you how you need to breathe and tell you how you need to move and which direction you should go, and you know, but they're not in there fighting the fight for you.
Right.
No matter who it is, they're not in there fighting that fight for you. So now you have to rely only on you. Just like being on that mat, basically. You on that wrestling match, it's just you and that opponent. You in that boxing ring, it's just you and that opponent. And that is where they tell you you can train 90% of the time, but you bring 10% of your training in the ring when it's time to actually battle with somebody. You know what I'm saying?
I honestly think so. Just being in there, so much stuff going through your head.
Yeah. And then all that noise going on, man. People cheering and you know, calling out all kind of crazy. And then you got to try to listen to your coach. You know, I can imagine how that is, man, you know? And I remember my days when I had to go through that crap. And it was hard to focus on anybody saying anything, you know? But, yeah, so as far as all of these sports that you've taken part in, how do you feel like it had built better character in you? Do you believe that because of it, because of you being involved with these sports, that you're a better man today than if you wasn't in those sports?
Yes, I really do think so. just simple life lessons you get taught. As far as team sports, you got to learn how to deal with people. You got to work with other people to accomplish a goal you set out to accomplish. Um, uh, it helps you interact with people.
Yeah.
You have to learn people. Everybody not the same. Everybody, uh, everybody different. So you getting to be around different type of people and things like that. And then individual sports, they shine the light on you.
Yeah.
It's gonna let you know what you made of. If you willing to stick in there, if you a quitter.
Yeah.
It just I'm thankful that I did grow up playing sports and still do sports today.
Right. Yeah, that's the beauty about it, man. And as far as you literally talking to young people. So if you had to give advice to younger people, what type of advice would you give them if they're not sure of what it is that they should be doing sport wise? So what type of advice would you actually give them on that?
I would tell them to just try anything that you're interested in. I would say at least give it a try. Unless you try, you won't really know whether you like it or not. And from then, you'll see how much you enjoy it, and you'll also see how well at it you are. And from there, all sorts of doors open up.
Yeah, that's 100% true. And as far as young people, let's say, what advice would you give them on the bullying tip? Because there are a lot of young kids right now in junior, actually even in elementary school. Bullying is starting from a young age now, and it's moving right on up. So what type of advice would you tell them how to deal with bullies, man?
With growing up, it kind of just come with the territory. But also, sometimes you're gonna have to learn how to defend yourself. And just with bullying, you can try to ignore it. That doesn't always work.
That's right.
But you will. It's a constant. It's a constant battle with your inner self, because you have to learn yourself.
Right.
So the more you can learn yourself, the more certain things won't bother you. So,
yeah. Have you ever had to deal with bullying? Anybody ever bullied you in school?
Not really. I don't think.
I know why. It ain't because of boxing. It ain't because of boxing why you didn't get bullied. I know why it is.
I would say, like, kids like to joke and pick.
Yeah.
There was a lot of joking and picking going on.
Yeah.
But as far like really bullying, no, I don't think so.
I'm gonna tell you why I think you didn't get bullied too much. One, it could have been because you such a lovable individual. I mean, hey, look, hey man, I gotta tell this part of the story, man. I never forget when we was actually getting that gym together, man, and we had to get the fire inspector to come through there. So on the phone, I'm talking to the dude, and he giving me all these hassles about, having to have inspection and having to have, fire extinguishers put up in the right place and all that, right? And there was two other businesses over there that didn't have to go through that, but he was kind of hassling me, and I was on the phone and I was fired up with this dude too. You know, I was mad, man. You know, I rushed down there to his office and everything, and then he comes up to the gym while I was gone, and you were there, and I don't know, I don't know exactly how y'all was talking, but when I got there, the guy was dag nabbing in tears, man. I'm like, what in the world? He looked at me and said, "This is a fine young man," talking about you. "This is a fine young man right here." And he started telling you all about his daggone life, man, and his problems with his wife. And I'm like, what? What in the world? I'm ready to fight, man. You up there crying right now. Brad, what'd you do to this man?
I didn't do nothing.
That thing had me cracking up.
We were just sitting there. Talking. He came in first, you know.
Yeah.
Going over like all the hazards we had and stuff like that.
Right.
And then I was just talking to him how I talk to really anybody else.
I know that, and that's the thing, man. You had this man in tears, bro. I mean, he was literally crying, man. And I come up there like now I'm ready to argue and fight, and this guy's really, you know, he apologizing and he's not like that, and he looking at Brad like this is the nicest guy I ever met in my life. You know, I'm like, what? I said, he's a boxer, man. You know he a boxer, right? He said, yeah, but I just, you know, it ain't like that, man. It's not. I'm like, okay, all right, cool, man. I couldn't even stay mad at the dude, man. And I was like, yep. I got next to Jesus in my corner. I was like, you may not be Jesus, but dag nabbit, man, you had this guy, and he was talking all tough on the phone, and all of a sudden, man, he come meet Brad, and he all broke down. Like, what in the world? But I always
he got off our back.
Yeah, he ain't bother us no more. That dude.
Before he left, he was just like, don't worry about it.
Yep.
Take your time.
Take your time.
Whenever you get it done, just let me know.
And guess what? I ain't even had to go back to the dude. I came back there and showed him the permit that I had for that fire extinguisher and where it was located. Bam.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't even no more of an issue. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, cool. Now, you know. So, no, I just remember that. I always tell that story, man. You had that dude crying. But
I was hoping you wouldn't go there.
I had to do it.
I knew you was going to.
That was funny, man. That thing had me rolling, bro. And as mad as I was, though, I'm like, I can't believe this, man. He couldn't even stay. That dude couldn't stay mad enough until I got back. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to see him. I want to see him talk like that to my face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember you on the phone like, I'm on my way.
Man, I shot up there, bro. You talking about? I said, Brad, just hold it down till I come back, bro. But nah, man, it was great talking to you, man. As usual, you know how we do. So
yes, sir. I appreciate you for having me on.
Yes, sir.
I wish nothing but success with this new venture.
Yeah. No doubt.
I hope it blow up.
Pray for me, bro.
Yes, sir. Always.
Yes,
always.
Sir. And maybe the next time we can talk about that, man. We can talk about our belief in God, and you know, I mean, none of us are perfect. You know me.
Right.
You know me.
Right.
So I ain't riding on nobody's shirt tail to be perfect. I'm just saying we can always be better than we used to be, or what we did in the past, all that. You already know my story. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But we can always talk about how we've been raised and the way that it affected us as adults. And even though we ain't perfect, but that could be the next one. But anyway, on that note, my man, thanks again. One love to you as usual. And in parting, what I always tell my people, either on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, whatever it's called, I always end y'all with this: treat people like you want to be treated, and they'll come back round, because it has for me. All right, YouTube people, catch up to me later. Brad, hang on the line, Brad.
All right.